Your energy is your currency. Remember, language informs reality. So oftentimes when I am attempting to decode, deconstruct, I will begin by taking a word and breaking it completely down. Before I even look up the word in the dictionary, I will try to come to a conclusion about what it means on my own terms. So first and foremost, when we say currency, we hear current. When I think of current, I think of the present moment, the present time, but I also think of water, the sea. So putting that all together then, you have the present moment is the sea, or in the present moment, I see. Now let's take that even a step further. Of course, to see can mean to see with your eyes, or it can mean to see with your third eye, your first eye, really. If you are going to see with your first eye, third eye, then it means to know. So taking that a step further and putting all of that together then, from currency, we get that the present moment is to know. Of course, that is the way we are going to frame it in our minds at this moment. But we don't want to leave the see element out, currency. That's important. It's important because we know that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Of course, we know that the book is full of allegories and metaphors, but you're meant to take those allegories and metaphors and apply them to yourself. We know that the body is our vessel at an individual level, and the earth is our vessel at a collective level. And we know that the body is made up of 78% water, and the earth is made up of 80% or more water. What this verse is telling you, and what can be backed by science, is that everything is water. If it doesn't look like water, sound like water, taste like water, feel like water, move like water, it's because it's a different form of water. And yes, this does include the earth. Of course, that can be confusing because in the religious text, we do read that the waters are separated from the waters above, from the waters below. And earth is gathered together and the seas are gathered together. However, despite the fact that that distinction is made, that is referring to duality. It doesn't change the nature of the element, which is still water. Meaning, broken down to all of its bare bone core elements, earth is really just space, and space is really just water. And another word for this space or water is the ether. Another way to think about ether or space or water is to say that it is a medium, meaning it is a substance by which a message is conveyed. Think of the ether as the radio station. It's a channel, and the song that plays on the radio station is the message that is being conveyed. Now let's go back to the beginning. We know that currency is a form of compensation. So what is really meant by saying your energy is your currency? Your energy is your compensation. Well, we have to break down energy. With energy, we hear inner, within, and G, capital G. So I take that to mean your inner God. Remember, our realities are created inward outward. Everything that we see in front of us happens inside out. And of course, we know that the true source of all that is, which is the Spirit that moves upon the face of the waters, is the true source of all that is, housed in our vessels. Put the metaphor all together. The Spirit, which lives in you, moved upon the face of the waters. Your body is water, and your spirit is moving upon the face of these waters in order to convey a message to the ether in your thought processes to create something real in your present reality. From the sixth law of karma, the law of here and now, we know that you can only create in the present. This is why in a time such as the end times, we need to be aligning our chakras. We need to be quieting the inner dialogue. We need to be going out in nature and existing only in the present moment. There are rituals being performed all around us and without our knowledge. And what you have to be mindful of is your energy, because your energy, your inner God, is your compensation. It is what is creating. And because you are water, you are actually swaying the moon. There is a reason why Diddy is arrested on the 17th, and the 7 board members at 23andMe resign on the 18th, the day of the full moon. This is a ritual. What they do is collect up all your currency, all your compensation, all your energy, and it goes to the moon. And when it goes to the moon, that moon is going to go back and dictate the actions of the sea, the ocean, which is backed by the science, which tells us that the ocean's tides are primarily dictated by the gravitational pull of the moon. Your inner God creates gravity. Your inner God, which is the sun, is the gravitational pull that is keeping the planets, including the Earth, orbiting around it. Of course, this is the metaphor, but what does this mean in the literal? If the sun were a person or a people, perhaps, that group of people would be the charismatic leaders of the entire collective of people. Not only would they be the creators of the group, they would be the reason that the group is able to exist and form together. Like the sun's gravity keeping the planets or planes in orbit, this people naturally draws others to them, which ensures the group's structure, form, matrix, inputs, and outputs. So what am I saying? Well, it's very simple. Sun people, I'm talking to you. First, you must come into the knowledge that you are God. Second, you must come into the knowledge that your inner God, your energy, is the compensation of the earth, meaning your vibration is what creates our reality, which is why the entire world and this country as its leader works tirelessly to ensure that you are broken, unheard, discarded, and disregarded. To the extent that they keep you in low vibration, they know that reality, the earth, will exist in low vibration. They also know that you are the only thing that can change this. The good news is we don't have to worry about the entire collective. We can focus on just ourselves because we hold and house that much.